These 8 factors I talked about, we got these, some of it is national data. We're going to break it down to some local data as well, just so you can kind of see why we're coming up with what we're coming up with. So, the first place we're going to start is a very unusual place to start. And we're going to look at these different generations, the baby boomers, the Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, and just kind of see why this makes a difference and why we're even talking about this. So, this next slide is very interesting. It really talks about the different spending age brackets. And think about this. I mean, logically, it makes sense. In your early 20s, you're spending less money than you might in your mid 30s. In your mid 30s, you're spending probably less money than you were in your mid 40s. And then at some point in time, maybe 50 plus, you start spending less and less money, right? And so we all know if you have kids, they're probably not all that inexpensive to raise. So just keep that in mind. But here's why this matters. When you look at the millennials, starting in 1982 all the way to 1996, they are just now starting to get into their years where they're spending the most amount of money. That's just the beginning. So, a lot of people looking at this say there's going to be more spending from the millennials over the next decade or so than we've seen in a long time. And so, just that is coming, and people are kind of watching that. So, that's factor number one. Factor number two, just plain and simple, I think most people here, especially in the Austin area, they know that inventory is shrinking. We lose anywhere from 100 to 300 homes every single week in the Austin area in terms of net homes that come on the market versus come off the market. And so there are a lot of people that are looking for a home, and they have more choices than they've had in the last 3 years, which is great. But 2.5 months of inventory is still less than what people are looking for. So there's good options for the buyer, but there's not as many as you would think in this kind of market. So we're seeing so many people talk to builders and say, please build more homes because we don't have enough inventory in the area. So that's factor number two, shrinking inventory. Factor number three is you'll see more and more people moving here to Austin. This is no surprise. I think everyone knows Austin is still one of the hottest areas in the country. You had Tesla move here and build a $2 billion plant, and businesses are starting to follow as well. Samsung is just starting to complete their $17 billion plant, and it's going to end up being 30 plus $1 billion. And then beyond that, then you're going to have 250 businesses that are going to follow them. Just this is the hot place to be. Austin's going to continue to be a hot area. So that's factor number three. Factor number four, we pulled this from for Williamson County and Travis County, the two most popular counties in our area that people are asking questions on. This slide will show a couple different things. One, in 2022, you'll see the median sales price of a home was $510,000. Then in February of 2023, it dropped to 410, and then you've seen it between 435 and 449 just at different times. So what a lot of people are thinking are prices have already dropped in many of the areas. They're either at the bottom or they are near the bottom. So it's a really, really hot time for buyers in terms of an opportunity they haven't had for several years. Heck, over the last 3 years, it was just crazy. Many buyers couldn't get a home. And so the other part of this slide here will show the average list to sell price. In 2021, it was just crazy. 2022, it was crazy. Homes were selling at 106 to 112% of the list price. Now you're seeing things maybe 94%, maybe 96, 97%. Depends on where you list, depends on the location, but that's what you're seeing. This next chart for factor number four is what I also really like to see. It's fun to see. So this chart, when you look here, shows like here's a market low, market high. Market cycles go up, they go down, they go up, they go down. What you've seen in Austin real estate over the years is over the long enough period, just real estate is going to go up. There's a fixed amount of real estate, and real estate is going to go up. And so that's what you see here. But when you look at that previous chart that I just showed you, most all real estate experts believe that we are in this U. And when you can buy in the bottom of this U, it means you're buying either at the bottom of the market, on the way up from the bottom, or just near the bottom already. And knowing that the Austin real estate market is so hot with so many people moving here and inventory is shrinking, when you have an opportunity to buy here, assuming that is right, and that's what everyone is looking at and seeing, this is a big potential for buying. Factor number 5 and factor number 6. So, a couple of things to note here. When you look at this slide over here on my left, you'll see unemployment is down to 3.6%. That was halfway through the year. It could have changed a little bit, but basically, you go all the way back to 1990. This is one of the lowest years, if not the lowest year that you're seeing out there. I mean, we have crazy low unemployment. And then you factor that in with factor number 6. This chart over here on my right is you got job openings versus number of people unemployed. But here's basically what this chart is showing. This yellow line is saying that there are 9.5 million job openings, but there's only, let's just say, 6 million people unemployed. So, in short, there are more jobs available than there are people available to actually fill those jobs. Factor number 7 is in certain job sectors and certain positions, you're starting to see some pay increases. And that's also going to go into not only just the millennials spending more money, but people just making more money in general. And factor number 8 is inflation is down from where it was, which is great, but it's not where they want it to be. So when we look at these 8 factors, it's going to allow us to kind of make a good prediction in these 3 areas, the questions that everybody is asking. So a quick recap is spending will be high for several years. Those millennials are going to be in their highest spending years for the next 10, 12 plus years. Austin inventory is shrinking every single day. We have more people and more businesses moving to Austin than ever before. It's just crazy, and so this will continue to be the case in our area. Prices have already dropped. You are at the bottom of that U I spoke about. At least that's the prediction from all the local economists. And so, this area might drop a little bit more. This area might already be on the way up, but for a buying opportunity is actually a great opportunity. And with that, even with sellers selling in that U, most people are still selling with a lot of equity in their home. Low unemployment, we already have low unemployment, so we know that, and Austin is even lower than the national. We have more jobs than we have people unemployed available. So just keep that in mind. We're seeing some pay increases. We're also seeing inflation not where they want it to be. So when you look at all that, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of look up and make a prediction.